Bam.
Bam.
Boom. Look at those donations from anonymous people. $20 to water.org, $30 to water.org, another $20 to water.org. Guys, keep those donations coming in because water.org is awesome. They not only help to provide clean drinking waters to areas of the world that don't have access to it, they also install permanent solutions so that these areas can always access clean drinking water. So
they do it up.
They do it up, guys. Consider donating. You can do that right under somewhere, and it goes straight to them. We don't see it. But happy Friday, guys. We have not done an open Q&A since May, and I decided to do this before Etsy made all those changes. So we'll kind of touch on those today, but I've got a video coming out on Tuesday. Christina Nicole and I have been talking. Pam Duthie and I have been talking. Pam and I actually pretty much covered everything yesterday during the E-Rank Q&A. So anything that you need to know, if you go to the E-Rank channel and watch it, we cover it there if you feel like you need to know it before Tuesday. Otherwise, I'll be covering all of it on Tuesday. So there's all that good stuff. The other quick announcements that I wanted to make before we got started, the boot camp, the registration for that, the priority pricing day will actually take place this upcoming Thursday, which means by the time we stream live here again, the price will be going up. It'll have already gone up. So I want to make sure that you guys have it marked on your calendars. Mr. Moore, can you just very quickly share screen? If you guys check the links down below the video, open up the description, you'll find this page. And if you want to make sure you get an email on September 5th when you can get it for $65, make sure that you enter your name and email because I'll send everybody an email letting them know. We only offer that $65 price on one day. And I tell you, it's going to be so worth it because we've got great speakers this year. Otherwise, when we go live again, the price will be up to our $100 price. There's no difference in what you get. You're just paying a different price. So you want to try to get in on the 5th. 6th and 7th, it'll be $100. And then if you're, dragging your feet and you wait until the last minute on September 8th, you can still get in, but you're paying $120 because all of those additional $20 increments we donate to St. Jude. So it's a penalty, but it's not really a penalty because your money is going to a good cause. I also wanted to point out that Mandy from Simply POD, with Mandy, she is going to be donating her money that she makes because all of the speakers are going to get paid, and she's decided that she's going to donate all her money. Mark and I are going to match donations made during the boot camp. So it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. But we're going to have Christina Nicole, she's here in the chat. We've got Mandy. We've got Dave from Add to Cart. We've got Hannah Gardner is going to be there. We've got Angel from Passive Income Angel. You guys are going to get tons of content, templates, all kinds of good stuff. It's all pre-recorded other than the final day. There will be a live stream. But if you want more information on that and you want to check out that page, it is linked down below. But again, you got to get in on the 5th if you want that super duper good price. The boot camp will be starting on Monday, September 9th, and it will run through September 15th. You will have access to all of the replays until January 1st of 2025. After that, only Handmade Alpha Academy students will have access because all of that content will move into the Handmade Alpha Academy. And by the way, HAA students, you do not need to sign up for this waiting list. You do not need to pay for it. You guys are in Handmade Alpha Academy, which means you get the boot camp free every year. That's one of the perks of being a student. Aside from,
we are not doing a topic today, so you guys are free to ask whatever questions you want. You guys run this.
Exactly. So
ask away.
And then the other thing is that on September 26th, I will be in Latvia. It'll be my first trip out of the country. I'm going to be speaking at Amplified by Printify. And normally the tickets to get access, like everybody can watch it. But if you want access to the Q&As, they're doing like big giveaways from Wix and Adobe. And I'm giving away E-Rank expert plans. If you want access to that stuff, Normally you got to pay $5. I've actually got a code though that you can enter that'll completely bypass the checkout system and you can get in completely free. The link to do that is down below. It's just printify.com/amplified. Enter the code AMP Starla, AMP Starla, and you won't have to put in your credit card information. It'll just get you in for free. So definitely sign up for that. Even if you're not POD, you'll learn what POD is. And there's going to be a lot of good stuff. I'm talking about niches and SEO, which is applicable even if you don't sell POD. So please consider hanging out with me. I'm very nervous. Mark unfortunately can't come with me because he's going to be making sure our daughter gets on the school bus, but I'll be there with my mom. So that'll be interesting. But 2 links down below for you. Boot camp. Don't forget the dates. Amplified, September 26th. Don't forget the dates. And then I guess the only other real date that we need to remember is October 1st, which is when Etsy's going to begin prioritizing listings in search that are shipped under $6. Unless it doesn't include international orders, it doesn't include sellers outside of the US, it doesn't include those who are already doing the $35 and more, you get free shipping, or if you've already had your shop with free shipping, and digital products, obviously, because you're not shipping those. And then anybody who uses the calculated shipping, it doesn't count. But with that in mind, now would be a good time to start getting your shipping price factored into the overall price of your products. That way you don't lose any prioritization in search because of it. So we'll be talking a little bit more about this on the Tuesday video because I just got this information like 2 days ago. So I'm still kind of processing everything.
All right. Don't have a lot of questions. You guys best get questions in or this is going to be a short stream.
Are you feeling better? You were sick for a while. Do I still sound sick?
Yeah, you do definitely still sound sick. Today's the first day she woke up and didn't immediately hack for 10 minutes straight right when she woke up. So
yeah,
definitely an improvement, but the weather here is freaking insane. So
high 90s today.
Yeah.
Degrees freedom units. So very hot.
Yeah, it was probably half this temperature this time last year.
Yeah, it is so hot.
It's kind of crazy.
Our air conditioning can't even keep up.
Nope. Etsy, I don't actually understand that. Why Etsy says make item X. I check the door, nothing listed. I check E rank, no keywords ranked. Are they just desperately trying to make fetch a thing?
I have no idea what that means, Lisa.
I'm assuming either a translation issue or just a word. I have no idea what you're asking.
Make item X. I check the door, nothing. Yeah, Lisa, could you rephrase your question and resubmit? I'm not quite sure. I know the desperately trying to make fetch a thing, like that's a Mean Girls reference, but I don't understand what the actual question is. Feel free to reiterate.
Hey, Galactic Galleria, you have Handmade Alpha Academy.
Yeah.
If you don't have access to your Handmade Alpha, please email me support@handmadealphaacademy.com so we can get back in there because that's 100% absolutely in there.
Oh, yeah. Module 7. But, I mean, if you have a specific question about how to utilize eRank, I do have eRank up, so we can do some screen sharing.
Where do we go for the early bird Christmas boot camp? Kind of spent the whole first
10
minutes of the stream talking about it. Links are down below.
Yep, just sign up for there's a thing where you can enter your email. There's like a big purple button. Click that, enter your email. That way I know to email you on September 6th to give you that early access.
Oh, jump. There we go. How many subscribers would you have before sending out your subscribed emails? You sound a lot better.
Here's the thing. Talk like you have 6,000 people on your email list, even if you only have 2, because there's no special number. Just start, because you get better at it with practice, and it's better to start warming up those few people you have, because those could turn into your best customers, right? Especially if they're some of the first to sign up for your email list. Start now. There's no reason not to. Plus, again, you're getting the experience and getting more comfortable and learning things along the way. Just speak like you've got 1 million people on your list, because for those very few subscribers that you have, they don't know how many people are on your list. They might think you have 1 million people. So talk like you have 1 million people with the knowledge that you only have a few.
What's with the new Etsy rating changes? We're now only offering standard service to our customers.
Those are not new actually. So basically these are things that have already been a part of our shop forever. Etsy's just being a little bit more transparent. Again, these are things that I am going to be talking about pretty in depth on Tuesday, so we probably won't touch on it too much, but the basics are that Etsy is becoming a little bit more transparent about what makes up our customer and marketplace experience scores. So think of it as this like area of, just below star seller badge. You don't have to have a star seller badge to meet all of this criteria. But if you're doing everything to achieve star seller, you're already ticking all of those boxes anyway. Things like message response rates. If you're getting a lot of refunds in your shop and those aren't covered by purchase protection, that can ding you. I think you have 48 hours to respond to your messages to maintain your message response rates. For star seller, it's 24 hours. So, you get a little bit more leeway. Again, like I said, we'll be discussing all of that this upcoming Tuesday in a very in-depth video. But if you want to hear more about it now, check out the eRank channel. Go look at the video that Pam and I did yesterday. We talk about it right at the beginning. So that way you don't have to sit and watch the whole hour-long live stream if you don't want to.
I have a digital product shop selling educational resources and posters. I've got about 135 listings and recently increased Etsy ads to $5 a day. I'm not getting many views. Advice?
Just because you're putting money behind something, it doesn't mean that it's going to do well. You still have to have fantastic photos, fantastic SEO, and a proof of concept. Putting $5 a day into all of your listings might not be the best strategy. If you've got listings that are already getting any attention at all, if they're making any sales at all, those are your proof of concepts. Those are your evidence that there is demand for that specific thing and that it's probably optimized relatively well and that, you probably have good photos there. Are you selling anything? Because if so, those are the items that I would focus the most ad revenue into rather than putting a little bit on all of your listings. Put a lot of it on the listings that are already performing well. If nothing is performing well and you've got 135 listings that just aren't selling at all and getting no traffic, well, if you're brand new, that's pretty normal. But if you've been around for a while, that tells me that there might be a bigger problem there. It might be lack of demand. You might just be trying to sell in a niche that's way too competitive and you're not offering something that's unique enough. That can require a little bit of additional product research to figure out how you can make those products stand out or define your niche a little bit better. You can do external advertising, trying to advertise them on platforms like TikTok, where you're not just advertising, but you're also teaching those parents or, you said educational resources. Are they parents or teachers? Regardless, whoever your target audience is, make sure that you're expressing some value there to them, maybe trying to add some educational elements into the videos so that, you're not just selling your product, you're actually providing value to the person who's watching things like your TikToks. But like I said, there's just too many factors that could be contributing. The biggest red flag here is that you're saying that you're spending $5 a day. Where are you putting that money, and is anything in your shop actually serving as a proof of concept?
How do you keep yourself organized with Etsy shop and life, and how do you keep yourself motivated?
I've got a physical planner and I've got several videos on it. I do one every January. If you want to learn more about the specific planner that I use, I give myself 3 big tasks a day, and that's it. 3 tasks. My physical planner sits on my desk at all times. I give myself 3 tasks every day. And then I have a set of overflow tasks where if I complete those 3 tasks, I can take additional tasks from my overflow and put them on my task list for that day if I choose to. So I give myself a day for everything. I don't just scatter everything. Every Monday, I have very specific tasks that I only do on Monday. For me, I'm editing YouTube videos because I have a video that goes out on Tuesday. I edit it on Monday because I'm crazy and I do things at the last minute. Fridays, I record. I do the Friday bean. My stuff's already set up. I record. So, and this is gonna be the same for Etsy as well. If you have 3 days on your calendar when you're planning to pack orders, get yourself a planner or a digital planner or a big, dry erase wall calendar, whatever you feel is going to be in your face every day, and mark the days that you're going to be doing that task. And then don't overload your schedule with too many things. Remember, you're human, and just because there's a lot to do, it doesn't mean that you need to do everything right at that very minute. One of the biggest mistakes I made as a new business owner, and the thing that put the most strain on mine and Mark's marriage, was that because I had so many things in a day that I felt like I needed to do, because we have an infinite number of things we can do in a day as a business owner.
Yeah.
I assumed I was failing at getting things done because I was not getting everything done right at that very minute. Or, I would get 3 things done and think, oh my God, I still have so much to do. When in reality, I was doing a lot. By writing those things down and having an exact log of all of the things that you need to do and when you need to do them, and planning way far out ahead and setting a schedule for yourself, you're able to accomplish a lot more, even if you're doing a little bit less each day, because you're not trying to accomplish 600 things in a day. And then the following day you look at what you did and you realize that, you spent 10 hours last week scrolling through silly Facebook posts. You know what I mean? So, task prioritization there. And motivation, here's the thing. Motivation is fleeting. You're going to feel really motivated some days, and some days you're not. It's just like, how many of you have started a new diet where you throw out all the junk food and you make a plan to work out every day, and you buy all the healthy stuff, and maybe you have some little tracker on your fridge, and you're going to lose weight and you're so excited. And then a week into it, the food is rotten in your fridge, all your veggies are rotten, you're just running through the McDonald's drive-through because you don't have any time, and you're no longer motivated, right? Motivation goes away. The power comes from doing things when you don't have the motivation. And this is where having that planner and having those 3 daily tasks and making a habit, trying to create a pattern for yourself where every Wednesday you're packing orders, or every Tuesday you're designing products, or every Monday you're checking your stats and your SEO. That is where you start building habits. Around 60 to 63 days on average is how long it takes to build habits. It becomes a work day. It becomes the things that that you need to do every day. And if you work a full-time job on top of what you're doing, you might need to give yourself a little less. Maybe you can't do 3 tasks in a day. We don't have superhuman powers. So if you can only give yourself 1 task a day, that's totally fine too. But having that calendar will allow you to decide what that most important task for that day is.
Science and Stark said that's called hyperfocus ADHD. We don't actually think she has ADHD. We know that it's not an everyday hyperfocus thing, because there are days when she's incapable of catching a flow state. And normally with a disability, it's just kind of a thing that always happens, or most of the time happens.
I did start anti-anxiety medication.
She did. And it makes her flow state almost impossible to get into.
It does. It makes me feel like I have ADHD. I'm using my standing desk. I stand on a balance board at my standing desk.
She's spazzy.
I
she
wobble.
gets little boy ADHD on her meds.
I'm adjusting, but I've never not been able to work, and it's bothering me pretty bad. But
how do you keep yourself, or that was the one you just did, with POD, how do you handle your supplier running out of stock when a customer has ordered that item? Thinking POD, but I'm nervous about having refunds and bad reviews. We deal with that.
Yeah, we check it very frequently. Here's the thing. If we notice that there's an item that's constantly in and out of stock, for example, we've got some tumblers that are in and out of stock all the time. We just have to continuously check them to make sure that they haven't gone out of stock. We so far have not had a customer message us about placing an order that didn't, we haven't had to message a customer to let them know that they've placed an order for an item that's not in stock. But if that happens, we'll first try to see how long it's going to take for that item to get in stock by contacting Printify directly and see if they have any information on it. If we think it's going to be an extended amount of time, we're just going to message them and let them know that unfortunately that item's not in stock, but we would be happy to ship them something else, or issue them a full refund. But that's just kind of part of selling POD. I would recommend keeping an eye on the things that you really want to sell and trying to find items that seldom go out of stock. So for example, when it comes to our t-shirts, Black t-shirts don't really go out of stock. They stay pretty well stocked in every color. In every size. So we don't worry so much about that. We try to stick to neutral things. And a lot of the times when Printify launches like a new, like crazy cool product, we try to keep a really close eye on those because those tend to be the things that everybody sees it. It's new. Everybody wants to make it. Then, obviously it goes out of stock faster. And then after a few months, it tends to stay in stock. That's how it was with our crushed velvet blankets. They kept going out of stock, but now they kind of stay in stock. So again, just have those action plans in mind. Customers are usually okay with it as long as they know. If you're very transparent and you just say, look, unfortunately, we had no idea. I am so sorry. I can send you something else, or I'm more than happy to issue you a refund. Then that's usually the best way to go.
Does it feel like a major achievement to be flown to Latvia for work?
Yeah. I'm excited. It's more of an achievement that me and there's another YouTuber who has like 500,000 subscribers. We're in this head-to-head battle because Printify is going to send whoever sends the most people to sign up for Amplified, they're going to fly us business class. And I don't even have 100,000 subscribers, but I already have more signups than this person. And he and I have been like going back and forth. So the fact that you guys have signed up like at the rate that you have has made me just so, because I never thought that we would be able to keep up with this guy because he's got so many subscribers.
Sign up for that down below. Even if you're not going to be there, help her get there more comfortable.
Yeah, that would be so.
Because flying coach multi-country is terrible.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to kind of do some vlogging. I'm going to try to bring like a mic setup. My mom's happy to record for me. We're going to try to do a little bit of vlogging while we're there. That way you guys can at least maybe get a glimpse of...
to be ready for all that shaky thumb in the frame video.
Oh, with my mom? Like, she'll do her best.
How do I market, research / find my audience before opening my shop?
Well... There's a lot of ways to do it, but first you need to make sure that there's a community that kind of exists around, whatever you're wanting to do. Don't just pick something because it's trendy. Start with something that you know that you enjoy. If you hate cats, don't make a shop about cats. I laugh so much in my own niche because we officially license with authors to make merchandise for their books. There are so many times when I stumble across products that have like imagery and things that are not from these books and they're not officially licensed. They're illegally selling the merch. And I look at them and like, for example, for those of you who have read like Throne of Glass and A Court of Thorns and Roses, I'll see a Court of Thorns and Roses picture with a white stag on it. And I'm like, okay, that's clearly a Throne of Glass just from the lack of understanding. And then my thought is, wow, this seller's stupid. So with that in mind, make sure that you understand your niche inside and out, because it's usually those really specific little funny references and inside jokes and things that are gonna be the things that sell. So there's one part of it. The other part of it is doing a bit of product research with something like eRank to make sure that the great idea that you have actually has demand for it and that it's not overly saturated. Here's the thing when it comes to competition. You can compete in a highly competitive industry, even if there are tons of competitors. You can compete there if you bring something new and original to the table. So for example, in our shop, we would obviously be doing a lot better if I invested 100% into my time into my Etsy shop, and we don't have the time to do everything that we do and that. But we, rather than just making a bunch of like book themed items, we are specifically making products related to romantasy, so romance fantasy, and we are also doing them all in a watercolor style. That is the specific thing that we're doing. And then we're trying to create things that are completely different than what other sellers are making. So for example, we are releasing, rather than making just stickers based on the books, we just released teeny tiny little planner stickers with the book covers on them that you can mark your planner for, what you're reading that month. Nobody's selling that. We're the only shop. So we found, that Printify offered sticker sheets and I formatted them and made all these teeny tiny little book covers and made something completely original out of what would otherwise be, go away, out of what would otherwise be just a sticker sheet. So again, you know, you can take a very competitive niche and sell within it, but bring something completely new and unique to the table.
We answer questions in the order in which they're asked. Please quit repeating your question. I have tons of listings that are expired but are still showing as available in my store. Should I be renewing them, or are they still going to be visible in search with them being expired?
They won't, if they're expired. They're anything that is they're expired but still showing as available. That sounds like you might have a cache issue, like just on your computer. I would clear your cache or check in on a different device. Because if they're expired or sold out or inactive, they shouldn't be showing in your store.
So if they actually are, check on a different device, different browser, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If they're still showing, you might need to get with Etsy support, because that sounds like a glitch.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed a feature in listings to hide SKU/items. What would be the use/value of this? Use, I'm assuming.
Irrelevant information to the customers that they likely won't care about. I don't think that there's any particular benefit to it. I assume that it's just something that some sellers want to do to keep their listings looking cleaner, but I'm not sure what the benefit would be from hiding them from customers. I have no idea. It's not going to impact anything like your ranking or anything, and I don't think any customers are going to be offended if they see your SKUs. But I don't know. I've never done it myself, so I'm not sure, but I'm going to assume that either way, it's probably not going to have any negative impact.
Do you think listing 3 to 5 products per day is good? If so, should I post all at once or space out during that day? Okay. I'm assuming that you got the advice to post a listing or 5 listings or 10 listings a day from a different YouTuber. That's stupid advice.
Yep.
You do not need to be posting posting a listing every day isn't going to saturate the market like what these YouTubers think is going to happen. If a listing isn't posted, it's not selling, period.
Yeah.
So we're in favor of collection launches, having thematic or seasonal or whatever launches of a set of products that you list. You can advertise that over a course of time, teasers, whatever. You can have a set of forever products in your shop, maybe that you want to keep in there at all times. They could be merch for your brand, or they could just be something that you like that you want to keep in the shop all the time, and then occasionally swap out or introduce new product launches. There's no benefit to listing them all in one day.
Yeah. Pam and we discussed this
every day.
Pam and I discussed this a lot yesterday. So there's a lot of like crack theories out there where people say that, you know, oh, you've got to list one thing a day, or, oh, you have to list 100 items at a time, or, oh, you know, you can't list. Somebody yesterday was told that they can't list more than 3 items at a time, or that'll mess something up. There's no logic behind any of those theories. There's none. We
call that pseudoscience.
Yeah. So if you have 3 to 5 products a day to list, cool. If you want to list, if you've got 50 items saved in drafts and they're ready to list, cool, list them. If they're ready to go, they can't sell unless they're listed. Nothing can sell if it's in your draft. If it's ready to list it, because it doesn't matter when you list it. It doesn't matter how many you list at a time. It doesn't matter if you list 1 a day. It doesn't matter if you list 100 items on January 1st and then don't list anything else for the rest of the year. If the item isn't listed, no one can find it. And it takes a bit of time for Etsy to figure out what it is, be able to understand what keywords they should be showing it for, understand the personalized search that they apply to each shopper, so who they should show it to. And then they have to gauge how customers interact with that listing, which can take a period of 60 to 90 days. So getting that listing listed as soon as possible is your best bet. But there's no magic number of listings that you need to have, number that you need to list at the same time. There's no magic to listing every day. If it's ready to go, list it. Or if you want to make it a little bit more marketable, like he was talking about, you can list it as a collection, which if you're doing things like social media marketing, that can make things a little easier because you can market things as a full collection launch.
Since your ears don't work, I went ahead and put you in timeout.
You can't just
Don't spam your question over and over and over again. I'll get to it if I get to it. Now it's not going to get answered, and you can't comment for 30 minutes.
You can't just spam the chat, y'all.
If you think I'm mean, come on over here. I'll put you over my knee too.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah, I know there's like 3 people that squirmed at that.
Ooh, sexy.
On another channel yesterday, I heard anyone who sells items costing over $250 on Etsy is crazy due to their protection policy. Does that matter?
Because items over $250 don't qualify for purchase protection, but that's not a reason to sell items that... Basically, if something were to go wrong and you sell an item that is over $250 and it's not insured, this is why if you're selling something that's over $250, I mean, even if you're selling something that's under that, you should still include insurance if you are worried that something's going to happen. That's the only thing. But saying that, oh, you don't sell anything over $250, that's crazy. Telling someone, oh, don't make as much money as possible just because something might happen. No, as a business, you put plans in place. You put a solid structure around your business so that if something happens, for example, if you ship large coffee tables and they're $350 and one breaks in transit, you've got an action plan to make sure that the customer either gets their money back or they get a new coffee table. And occasionally, yes, as a business, if you're running for 5, 10, 15 years, things like that will happen. That's business, baby. Things go missing.
That's business, baby.
It is. Things get broke. Things go missing. If you literally cannot afford to ensure that a customer gets an item or a refund because it will break your business, you probably shouldn't have a business. I mean, insure those packages. Insure them. Because that'll ensure that if something goes wrong, at least the post office will pay for it. But yeah, what if you are missing out on, $20,000 worth of extra sales per year because you're not pricing your products higher? It's easier to make one $100 sale than it is to make $101 sales. High priced items are the thing that's going to make you a big business. I don't see $1 million digital sellers. I don't think I've ever seen $1 million digital seller. I'm sure they exist, but most digital sellers are probably raking in, like 6 figures. When I see $1 million seller, though, those are the individuals who are selling high priced, high value, high quality items. And they're selling less of them, but they're selling them at a higher cost.
Is Mark Santa?
Are you Santa?
Yeah, Wolf's in chat if you want to see what I'm bringing in my bag.
Oh, you're in your big Santa sack.
See, now you made it weird. I changed it to bag to not be weird. He's just so.
It's an open Q&A, baby. We can do whatever we want. There's no well, there are rules. There are rules. Don't spam the chat.
Do you recommend sectioning off your shop by like Halloween, Christmas, seasonal, etc., or just post as they're created? What's the best way to do it?
So
excuse me.
Do you mean like actually creating your shop sections, like your actual categories? Or do you mean like launching them? Because you said post as they're created. That's completely up to you. If you can post them as they're created, but I would definitely always recommend trying to post at products that are seasonal at least 4 months before that intended season, whether you're doing so as a collection launch, or if you are doing them, just individually, just so you can get them listed. In terms of sectioning them out, though, customers likely, if they are looking for something that's Halloween related or Christmas related, having shop sections, on your left navigation of your storefront's definitely going to make the shopping process a lot easier for them, which could in turn help them to find what they're looking for and lead to them making a purchase. So again, launch things when they're ready to go, especially if you don't have Halloween stuff listed and it's ready, you need to list it now because it should have been listed months ago. But, it's up to you when it comes to actually launching those products. If you think that it's weird to launch Halloween and Christmas items together, you could space them out a little bit. That's totally up to you, though.
Uh-oh, looks like I have options, babe.
Oh, you do? Oh, well, if anything ever happens to us, you've got a whole lineup for you.
All right. Everybody line up, I guess.
Line up.
This is getting weird. Any idea if Hello Custom has gotten any better? I tried using it last year and it was such a pain to get going.
I've never used Hello Custom. I do apologize.
Did you lose weight or is the hair just back? Your face looks thinner. We're both actually actively working on losing weight.
We have been, but my hair is back. Also, I don't wear my hair back often because if you guys have never noticed, my right ear is giant.
She got one big ear.
Have you ever noticed my right ear is bigger than my left ear? Look at me head on. It's so much bigger. That's why I don't ever pull my hair back, but it's hot today. It's like in the high 90s, so.
I can't find the Etsy reach data on eRank anymore. Did it go away?
Etsy reach data. Do you mean Etsy as a marketplace? Let's pull up eRank. I don't ever look at that. You can screen share.
Can I pull this over? If
Sure.
we're going to do that, I'd like to see what's actually on the screen.
Sure. Yes, you may.
Thanks for your permission, Mommy.
You're very welcome, Daddy. Okay. You got to screen share, though. They can't.
I went to the gym 2 times this whole month. I'm so proud.
Got it. There we go.
I feel that.
That's 2 more times than we went. Okay, so Etsy reach data, that would be reach for the marketplace in general. We used to show it down here. Here's the thing, I don't really care about that information, so let's take a little scrollsy. Shop, that's shop in general.
I don't know what specifically you're referring to.
I do, as long as I'm understanding correctly. Calendar, category, trends. These are shop insights.
Maybe slow down and actually read what you're looking at.
I built this sucker. Well, I helped build it. So, I think we might have gotten rid of. We might have gotten rid of it.
It used to be in the sites drop down.
Yeah. You know, we might be working on stuff. I don't know. You can always pop into our chat, bottom right-hand corner when you're logged in. There's a little smiley face bubble. You can click on that, message one of our team members, and they can let you know. We've constantly, we get so many updates for site improvement, you know, site update. Here's our list of updates for the day. We get them like 3 times a day, and I don't always look at them. They're constant. My Slack is just all day. I'm constantly getting updates.
She ain't got no time for that.
So yeah, I usually hear about it before we go live on Thursdays for E-Rank Q&A. Pam fills me in.
What do you think about those new search visibility?
We talked about it already. I'll be covering it on Tuesday. The algorithm is the only major change that's been made, because these are factors that have always contributed. Etsy's just being more transparent about it. The main thing that Etsy is that they're actually changing with the algorithm is if you charge over $6 for shipping and you're in the US, shipping within the US. But like I said, we'll cover more of it on Tuesday.
This is the person who had the typos. They sent out the trend email, said to make Halloween bride totes, literally 35 items listed. E-Rank shows no searches. Why do they say it's a trend and it's not? I'm having trust issues. Dude, this is not the first time they've done that. I see that occasionally.
So here's the thing. There's two sides to this. The first side is that sometimes Etsy will say something is trending in order to make it trend, because if they say it's trending, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because they say it's trending and then everybody's like, oh, I want to go look at that thing. And then they'll go look for that thing, or Etsy will feature a section of those things. Therefore, they will make their trend. Mm-hmm. There's one side. The other side is that E-Rank data is refreshed on the 1st of every month, which means, guess what? Tomorrow? No, Sunday, we will have new data. So maybe it wasn't trending in August, which is the data that, or I'm sorry, July. Maybe it wasn't trending in July, which is the data we currently have, but we're about to have the August data refresh. And maybe Etsy's giving you a little glimpse of what you should look for when the data over at E-Rank refreshes, because we'll get all that good August data, which is where we're going to see a lot of those Halloween-related searches pop up. So, interesting, though.
What Opening a new shop and I have 20 products ready. Should I upload them all at once or should I upload them some at a time? Because I know Etsy likes consistent upload times. That's a myth.
Yeah, just, I mean, there's no special pattern. There's no...
If they're not in there, they're not selling. If you want to market them, do a product launch, advertise them. You could do a soft launch of a couple of products, release a full thing, whatever you want to do. There's a million different things you can do.
Yeah, not to mention 20 items. Like, okay, so say that you launched one item like today, and then you plan to launch another item tomorrow. But I'm a shopper, and I found the one item that you launched today, and then I went to your shop because I liked that item, and I wanted to see what else you had, but then I saw that you only had that one thing. One thing, no sales. But if I went to your shop and you had lots for me to look at, I might feel a little bit more trustworthy there. So there's no magic formula for how many you should list at a time. There's no magic consistency upload times. I've literally never seen any official sources that say that. So I would just get those 20 products listed.
YouTube likes that. YouTube likes consistent upload times.
Ask us how we know.
Yeah, you missed that crap by a minute. And they're like, nope, no views this week. I find more joy in my...
You can't talk today.
I cannot. I find more joy in my craft when I don't try to make multiple identical copies of the same items for the Etsy algorithm. Is Go Imagine better for unique items for sale?
So keep in mind that Go Imagine is dramatically smaller than Etsy, but in terms of the algorithm, it's very simple. It's very much based on relevancy, not repeatability. And because your competition is going to be very, very low there, you're not going to be competing with millions and millions of other sellers. Obviously, the downside is that there's not as much traffic, but they are growing. And the more we talk about it, the more they grow. And the more we talk about it, the more they're able to work on their own initiatives to get more buyers there. So regardless, it's not going to hurt you to list your products there. I dare say that I would get my products listed there if that's like, you know, your want and your joy and your desire. Leave your Etsy shop up, but try it out. You know, there's no harm in trying.
Is there a scheduler that is good for scheduling Instagram reels?
Yes. I personally, I mean, you can use your Meta Business Suite to schedule your reels. I like Metricool. I've been using Metricool for a year now. I switched from Later to Metricool because I really like the analytics. I like the layout of Metricool. It just gives you a little bit more. There's more platforms that you can schedule to. And you can actually schedule a reel, but you can also send it out as a YouTube short and a TikTok. And it'll also, if you have a LinkedIn account, you can post it to LinkedIn. And basically any platform where videos can be uploaded, you can also post there as well. So I will usually, if I'm doing short form video content, I just post it to everywhere. But you can also do it right from the Meta Business Suite.
What's the best way to share 5-star reviews on social media? Asking the person that left the review is always a good idea. I don't think you're technically legally required to, but it's always best before taking someone else's words and moving them somewhere else.
Yeah.
But other than that, just taking a screenshot, really.
Yeah, you could take a screenshot, or Canva has some really nice little templates that you can use. If you just type in like Instagram review into their templates, it'll give you some cool little templates if you want to style it and have your own kind of branding colors and things. You can do that. If for any reason, you know, it's been a long time and you don't feel comfortable messaging the customer, you could always just use like their first initial instead, or their first name and not include their last name. It could just say, you know, Angel, and then the review, and then just not put their profile picture or anything that could identify them.
Exactly.
What if they bought it as a gift, you know, and then for some reason the person that they bought it for saw?
Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
So,
also, pro tip, if you want to take a quick screenshot of something, you can hold on Windows. You can hold the Windows key and Shift and hit S. It'll pull up an interface on your screen. You can either click and drag a box where it will take a screenshot of that. You can paste into Facebook, or you can paste it into Paint, or whatever app allows you to paste. Or there's options at the top where you can switch. You can take specific screenshots. You can take your whole screenshot. There's a bunch of different things you can do, but it's Windows key, Shift S.
It's changed my life.
It is a wonderful tool.
And you can Control V right into a Canva, and it'll just take that image and pop it right in, and you don't have to save it on your computer.
You can post it into Facebook chats. You can post it into Facebook statuses as replies. Pretty much works on every social media platform. It's pretty nice. And Alley Cat Pride said it's on Mac. It's Command Shift S. Okay, cool. With the problems associated with opening a new shop, do you still recommend opening separate shops for products and patterns?
I'm assuming, do you mean that like you sell like the physical products and like the patterns to make them? Here's the thing. Yeah, there are a lot of issues with opening new shops. My issue is always with who the ideal target customer is. And if you feel like the two niches are going to conflict with each other too much. I don't personally think that the physical products and the patterns would conflict too much, as long as you were very clear that they were receiving a pattern. Make sure it's like right on your thumbnail. Normally I say no text on thumbnails, but I would put it right on there, especially if you're mixing those products together in a single shop. It's hard because I see sellers start shops every day and they do just fine. Obviously, you got to deal with payment reserves, and you need to be ready to like list your first item, fill out all your information, do everything that Etsy asks of you, because if you miss a step, they will shut you down. But it's almost like that fear of going out into the world because you're afraid you'll get in a car accident. Like, you know, every day you leave your house, there's always a potential that you could get in a car accident, but does that mean that you don't live? No. If you open a new shop, yeah, there's always that risk, but you've got to decide for yourself if it's worth that risk to you. I see plenty of people start new shops and they run into no issues, but you just got to be very, very cautious and not do it all willy-nilly like we once were able to. So, but it's up to you. I don't see those products as being too different as long as you're being very clear about which one is a pattern.
Now that I've fixed my keywords, should I relist?
You mean pay the 20 cents to renew? You can. If
they're not listed, they're not selling.
No, I think that it's more that she's asking if she should pay the 20 cents to update it.
Oh, got ya.
So there used to be this old strategy long ago, like over 10 years ago, where you could go in and renew all your listings every day and pay the 20 cents per listing every day. Yes, it got expensive. And that would basically give you like a jolt in the algorithm, and it would help to boost your listings. Etsy caught on to that. Now, if you repeatedly do that and Etsy still notices that you're not getting traffic, you're going to fall farther and farther and farther down in search pages. But when you are making big algorithmic big SEO changes, like you've done a big overhaul of a listings, tags, and titles that just wasn't selling, I see nothing wrong with paying that 20 cents to give Etsy a little shake and say, hey, look at this again. Because I'm not exactly sure how long it takes them to start reassessing that listing, but it can't hurt to pay that 20 cents. In that singular instance, don't go in and do it every single day. You know what I mean? Don't try to do the old strategy, because I promise you it does not work. Anything that can be gamed on Etsy usually figures it out pretty fast, and then they make it so that you cannot game the system anymore. So.
And I was corrected. It is they didn't say Command Shift S. It's Command Shift 5, because Apple doesn't do anything that makes sense.
Oh, of course.
You can use Command Shift 5, Command Shift 4 to do the drag, Command Shift 3 to do your whole screen and get options, instead of just one key press for everything, or not putting a back button on your phone. God, if I'm not.
Max, we're skipping your question for irrelevance.
could you please confirm that you're no longer allowed to use any mock-ups for POD other than print provider mock-ups? Thank you.
No, they've kind of went back on that. Basically, Etsy wants you to use mock-ups that are accurate to your items. So if you're selling a Gildan t-shirt, you need to make sure that you're using a Gildan mock-up and not a Bella Canvas mock-up. You need to make sure that you're not using an AI generated mock-up where the shirt and the person aren't even real. You just need to make sure that those mock-ups accurately represent your product. If you go back, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago on the Friday Bean, I show you how to take your ugly mock-ups that you get from your print provider and make them look amazing. And they are completely unique, so no one else will have the same mock-ups as you. And you can do it with Canva. And not using Canva's mockup generator. It's actually customizing and setting your own backgrounds, using your own little props and things, and making your own flat lays. But really, I personally kept a couple listings in my shop with mockups from Placeit just because I wanted to know. And I haven't had any issues with those listings at all. So I do think that Etsy's starting to kind of go backwards on that initial statement about only being able to use mockups from your print provider. Now they just need to be accurate and depict your product.
So PC all the way. Here's the deal. Mac versus PC. I'm going to be nice about it. Mac is good for professional work. It shouldn't be marketed as a consumer tool. They're prohibitively expensive for what they actually are. If you're just checking your emails, you can do that here. You don't need a $3,500 laptop to do that. They charge you 3 to 5 times what just upgrading from a 1 terabyte to a 2 terabyte hard drive costs more than what a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD costs. So they're charging you thousands of percents over price. And most of those parts, they're not manufacturing themselves. They manufacture their motherboards, their CPUs, and I think their RAM on some of their models. I've been out of the loop on the Apple stuff for a long time, but PC is considerably more cost efficient, easy to replace, easier to repair. There's no right to repair issues. I don't hate Apple. I don't care for how they handle their customers. I don't care how they're very anti-fix things yourself, which is ridiculous. But otherwise, it's a professional tool, and they should be marketed as professional tools. Is this a computer class? This live stream actually started out as a tech live stream.
Yeah, like 7 years ago, it was Tech Friday.
And then we figured out that there just wasn't enough to talk about. So
it was Tech Friday with Mark.
Yeah. I was looking into getting a new MacBook just for us to do videos and for me to do my music production and stuff on, so we could just exchange back and forth and not have to worry about like moving things back and forth. For my needs for a laptop, it would cost $7,000 for a laptop. That is absurd. And I'm gonna get one after our next HA launch just because we need it for the convenience, but it's absurdly expensive. I'm still struggling with Etsy ads. I'm spending more than I am earning. Is there a quick step-by-step guide to how to use Etsy ads efficiently and evaluate to make changes as I go to improve or turn on?
Okay, so Sherry, if you're in the red, then you're completely defeating the purpose. So my first advice is to stop paying for Etsy ads until you have a better strategy down. Etsy ads are only going to work if other factors about your listing are already in place. Your SEO has to be good. Taking a listing that has bad SEO and trying to show it to more people, Etsy isn't going to know who to show it to because the keywords that you're using aren't really connecting to an ideal customer. So it's like you're throwing money down the toilet. Your photos need to be amazing because regardless of the fact that, I could take a turd and put it in my hand and show it to 1 million people and say, look at it. Do you want it? Do you want it? Do you want it? And just because I've shown it to 1 million people, nobody's going to want it. So if your photos aren't amazing compared to every other listing that's on that search page, it doesn't matter how many people see it, they're not going to click on it. So there's that. You've got to make sure that you're putting money behind the products that are known to sell. Your products that already have that proof of concept. I always talk about betting on your winning racehorses. If you're going to a horse race and you're looking at all the different horses that you want to bet on, you're not going to bet on the horse that has literally never won a race. You're going to bet on the horse that has the best track record. Your listings are the exact same way, where if you take the listing that you know people like because they're buying it, and you know your SEO must be good because they're finding it, you know your photos must be good because it's selling, you know people love it because they're buying it and hopefully leaving reviews for it, that is the listing that you want to put the most money behind, because you know that that listing is going to make you a return on investment. That is my best strategy for Etsy ads. I've got a video on my channel about Etsy ads that you can watch, but I basically say this exact same thing in more words. You can also go over to eRank. Can you pop up eRank just super duper quick? You don't have to move everything around. You can just, okay, screen share. Go into tools, into our calculators right here. Go into the ROI calculator right here. And you can actually figure out for yourself if you're going to make a return, or if you're making a return on investment with your ads. So this can be very, very helpful if you don't know where to start or what to do. So, but again, betting on your winning racehorses is the very, very best strategy. Don't stretch your ad budget across all of your items if you don't even know if there's demand for those items in the first place.
Sorry. Yeah, things get really quiet when I'm reading. I've got two things all at once just to make sure everything's cool, you know? How many products should I have before opening an Etsy shop? I'm a handmade seller and just starting out.
There's no magic number. Just,
we like if it's not listed, it's not selling. We like a good round number, 7, 10, 15.
yeah, just if they're ready to go, and obviously when you're doing handmade, you've got to take your photos, make sure everything looks very nice. I recommend subscribing to Christina Nicole's channel. It's just by Christina Nicole. And she's great with product photography. But once you've actually gotten all your photos taken and you've got your listings ready to go, just list them. There's no magic number, because it's probably going to take you a bit of time to make those first sales to begin with. Most sellers don't see sales right away. It can take a few months. So, you will not have any data to go off of until you have something to compare your daily stats to. So get them listed, keep an eye on your stats, and then you can make those subtle improvements as you go. And then as you list more items, you'll be able to do so with that new knowledge and experience that you've gained along the way.
Can I send you a song on Discord and you critique it with timestamps for suggestions on the next pass of mastering it? That's a lot of effort. I would not be opposed to it, but I cannot promise that it will happen very quickly in time if you're using it for a project. But yeah, if you want to, feel free. You can message it directly to me. Tell me what steps you've taken, and I can try to give you some critiques later. What do you do to keep track of your business / Etsy finances? Do you use anything that integrates with Etsy, QuickBooks?
A lot of people love QuickBooks. I'll admit I've always been a pen and paper person, and then I switched to using Trello, which, Trello isn't integrating with anything. You're just entering everything in manually. Right now, Michelle, because I run our shop with my VA, Michelle, she is an accountant. So she's able to I pass it all off on her. But when I had my 6-figure jewelry shop, we were really just a pen and paper kind of family. And I know that that's probably the messiest way to do it, not the best way. I'm a big fan of Block Advisors. That's who does our taxes. If you've had bad experiences with H&R Block, which we definitely have, Block Advisors is a subsidiary of H&R Block that specializes in small businesses. Our experiences with Block Advisors every year is always amazing. They do a fantastic job. They can also give you financial guidance. They can help you knowing when you need to LLC. They can help you with steps. And some of them, I'm assuming, can help you with things like letting you know what you need to do for like business licensing and things if you live in a state that requires it. They're just very knowledgeable. So, that's always been what we've done. Now we just kind of hand everything to her with a spreadsheet. It's
Pen and paper, dude. I'm old fashioned when it comes to my taxes. I don't like the possibility of an issue.
But if you guys would like, maybe closer to tax season, which is April 15th is tax day. Maybe like the month before we could have a Friday Bean with Michelle. Would you guys like that? Let me know in the comments. And then Michelle, obviously it would be a disclaimers, like you need to check for your area, but she could maybe offer some general stuff, you know, just some pointers and answer some general questions. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in.
We can make a splash for the
A
beginning.
a big disclaimer
for the
splash.
beginning of that one.
Yeah.
Quick question I can answer quickly. What software do you use for editing your YouTube videos? Premiere Pro for editing the actual videos themselves, and I use Reaper for all of the sound design.
Yeah, I edit with Premiere Pro, and I always have people ask me, like, you know, what course to take. There are very few courses that are going to teach you everything. The best way to learn
Indian guys on YouTube.
I know that that's crazy, but if you observe something that you see a YouTuber doing, which we consume a lot of YouTube, so if I see like an edit that I think is really cool and I don't know what it's called or how to figure it out, I will
You find a guy on YouTube, 9 times out of 10 it's an Indian guy. He knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yep.
Put it on 2 times speed and you'll zip through it real quick.
Yep, it's always an amazing editor, Indian guy on YouTube who is able to show you exactly what you need to do. There are just some fantastic YouTube tutorials out there. The
Cut and dry. They're just like, if this is your problem, here's how you fix it.
Yep.
And if it's not there, then the fix probably doesn't exist and you're just gonna have to contact Adobe.
Yeah.
Because they haven't gotten to it yet.
Adobe is a beast, though, and it takes a lot of time to master. So give yourself some grace if you decide to jump into that.
We will be working away from Premiere Pro next year once we switch to a Mac, though, because Premiere Pro is trash. I don't like it. It is super inefficient. It crashes, has all kind of weird memory leak problems.
I'm constantly yelling and cursing every day.
You want to know what the solution to every problem she has is? Reset to saved layout. Where's that?
I forget.
She's 3 times her age in tech.
I forget.
For sure.
But hey, my videos look great, don't they? Isn't my editing amazing, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Let me know. I was talking to a big YouTuber a few days ago, the guy that I'll be presenting at Amplified with for our first session. And he was like, you edit all your videos? And I said, watch my videos and you'll see why I edit them. Nobody edits like me. Like, my videos are edited in a very unique way and I'm proud of it. And I don't want to give it to anybody else.
2 IT professionals and a person for coding. Unregistered version of Bandicam with an unregistered version of Windows Vista.
Yep.
That's always what it's. That's it.
He will know all of the answers.
He will know exactly what it is. He talks really slow, so you got to turn it on 2 times speed, but he knows what he's talking about.
He always knows what he's talking about.
Thanks for your help. That was loud. We already read that one. I'm opening a new shop and I have 20 products ready. We already read that one too. That was a repeat. Please don't do that.
No.
That's okay. It was way earlier in the thing. My items are 100 plus. I offer free shipping at the moment on all items. If I raise my prices, does Etsy tag those items, letting customers know? No, they don't.
They won't and if you need to raise your prices, it's better to just rip the Band-Aid off and do it, especially since we're right before holiday time. Just do it. They won't know.
How would you recommend assessing how much profit you've actually made in a period? For example, just going into Printify at the end of the month and tallying money spent versus earned. Better way? Question mark?
Yeah.
I thought they had a.
You've got your margins. For us, it's a little bit different because we officially license with authors and we have to pay out commissions to each of those authors.
Pop it up.
But you can also.
This is the rank.
Yep. Obviously, you're going to have to factor in your margins if you're doing POD and things like that. You could even just pop it into things like labor costs. But, the profit calculator can help you a lot. Yeah. What are you just putting in naughty numbers? Is that?
Yep, sure.
7's not a naughty number.
Could be.
You just put it. What are you?
Sure.
Okay.
I just wanted to show them a finished thing.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And you can keep putting, different data in here.
Yeah. I mean, I always teach to price in that top 10% of your industry. The animals are just knocking things over. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I always recommend pricing in that top 10% of your industry or your niche. So looking at who your biggest competitors are, even if they don't exist on Etsy, for example, you know, we're a bookish themed shop. We officially license with authors. So we always look at big brands who do that, like the Bookish Box, Fairy Loot, LitJoy Crate. And we price around those prices. For example, we just launched. Do you guys follow Oodie? You know, those big giant like blanket hoodie. Oodie, the big blanket hoodie. I love my Oodies. we just released a like knockoff Oodie for A Court of Thorns and Roses. We're the only sellers who even have a Oodie themed. You know, we can't use the word Oodie. We had to call it a blanket hoodie. But we went to Oodie's website to see how much they charge for their original Oodie, and
it's a lot.
We're charging about the same that they charge for their Oodies.
There's a lot in it.
And when we do that, we know that we're making a fantastic profit there. We're not charging bottom of the barrel prices. We're being realistic when it comes to other similar items that are on the market. But again, you could always double check with our profit calculator over at eRank just to make sure. You'll just have to factor those margins into things like the labor costs.
How much does changing your titles and tags affect the views you get on Etsy? I've had a bit of a problem keeping changing my wording around SEO, and I'm worried it's harming more than it's helping. Yes, yeah. You need to let your SEO sit for 60 to 90 days before you make any changes. Unless you see something like a dramatic thing that needs change, like a huge spelling error or something.
Yeah, because Etsy, here's what happens when you list a new item, or, you know, you've got new keywords in your listing. Etsy has to look at all of those words and figure out what your item is, because Etsy's not looking at your picture and saying, oh, this is a mug, cool. No, they're looking at clues that you're putting in your listings, tags, and titles, and your descriptions in order to decide what it is. Okay, we've determined that it's a mug, but there's also some words related to cats. So then Etsy has to figure out that it's a cat-themed mug. But then Etsy also has to figure out that they need to show your mug to cat lovers who are searching for things like cat lover gifts. There's a lot of behind the scenes that Etsy has to accomplish in, you know, those first few days that your listing is there. That's why we say 60 to 90 days is a great amount of time, because it allows for a chance for shoppers to interact with that listing organically in search. And what I mean by that is that when a cat lover is searching for a cat mug on Etsy and they click on that listing, that confirms to Etsy that if you've got cat mug in your listing title and tags, and that customer searched for a cat mug or a cat lover gift, and they clicked on your item, that tells Etsy, hey, we were correct. This is a cat mug. This lady who loves cats, you know, we have personalized data for her. We have like a little profile on her that shows that she buys lots of cat items. She's a cat lover. She clicked on this listing and bought it. That tells us for sure that this is a cat mug. It's great for cat lovers. We should show it to lots of people who are interested in cat-related products. That takes time, because that's AI that's doing that. But then there's also another side to it, where if you've listed, like, we'll just say the world's ugliest cat mug, not like you know, a ugly breed of cat. Your mug is just, we'll say, is an ugly design. And that cat lover clicks on it and then goes, oh, no, and clicks off of it. That tells Etsy, ooh, cat lovers might not like this mug very much. Or maybe the mug has, like, I hate cats in tiny font underneath. And when you click on it, you realize it. And you're like, oh, no, I don't want that. That's going to tell Etsy, maybe this isn't a cat lover mug. Maybe we don't show this mug to cat lovers anymore. So when you're in there every day tinkering with your tags and titles, you're basically saying, hey, Etsy, I want to be known for this. No, never mind. I want to be known for this instead. No. Wait, never mind. Scratch that. I want to be known for this. And Etsy doesn't know who to show your listing to. So leave stuff alone. You gotta let that baby cook. You know how when you keep opening up the oven door when you're trying to bake a cake and you keep letting all that heat out and then your cake like flattens in the middle and it's all goopy? You like, don't do that. Let that baby bake.
In the middle and I'm all goopy.
Because you're my cake. You're my cake daddy. You're my cinnamon
Keeps
roll.
calling me a cinnamon roll.
Is he not? Ladies, is he not a cinnamon roll?
I hate that term.
It's a soft man.
I'm not soft.
You are soft.
Kiss my buns.
You are cinnamon buns. He's a cinnamon roll. Google the definition.
Would I be hotter if I was my skinny built again?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Think I'm hot or chunky?
Yes.
Let's vote in the chat.
Yes. Absolutely.
Chunky or thin and muscular?
No.
Let's hear it. Come on, I need the uplift. Let's go.
He's just milking the chat for self-esteem today.
Uh-huh. Not a milking going on.
I can't breathe.
You need a cough drop?
No.
I have caramel.
No. I don't want a caramel cough.
You want some of my throat balm?
Throat balm. Oh, it does say
that's
throat
what it
balm.
says. Yeah, that wasn't me being gross.
Caramel flavor.
Do you Dad bought all the way?
I did read the question.
No, this is for me. That's the last 20 minutes. It's all about me. Do you need to use both miniature and mini? What about bohemian and boho?
So those words are very different.
Yes.
So I'm gonna dare say, well, hey, let's miniature and mini and bohemian and boho. Okay, I think boho's actually trademarked.
Okay, well, we have a lot of questions to get through, so
I don't
make it
care.
quick. I do.
It's not about volume, it's about quality.
That's
Okay.
not what she said.
So let's go. Let's do. You guys will have to excuse my typing because I'm stretching across the keyboard here.
Our friend's present is out for delivery.
Miniature. Okay. And then what did we have? Boho
Boho.
and
me.
Bohemi.
Bohemian Mario.
Is that right? Bohemian? I guess we'll know if it pops.
Bohemian.
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 I don't think it's Bohemian.
From the
It
great
is.
nation of Bohi.
I think it is Bohemian. No, look at all that.
No, it's not. It's Bohemian.
Okay.
Or otherwise, it would be the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian. Oh man. Okay. Anyway, about that, it looks like boho is significantly more searched, and mini is more searched than miniature, but they're very different keywords. So they are also very highly.
Mini also gets more clicks, while boho gets more clicks.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Data.
comparatively,
And the competition isn't too far off. Though I will say boho has 4 times the competition that bohemian has, so bohemian would technically, I don't know.
I'd put them both in.
Somebody in here is good with algorithmic math. Somebody figure that out. Logarithmic. Algorithmic. I don't know. I'm dumb. Leave me alone. I have a question. If you see 16 added to the basket for a few weeks on one of your products, but then one day it all disappeared, what might be the problem?
Etsy
Those
clears
16 people don't want it anymore.
No, Etsy stops. I don't think that it's that they took it out of your cart. I think that Etsy stopped showing because Etsy realizes that they're using their cart as an extension of their favorites, and there's not a lot of purchase intent there. It's normal. Don't stress about it. Use it as a way to feel good about yourself when you see it. Set up a abandoned cart coupon if you want to. Some people just stick things in their cart that they're never going to buy. You know how I know that? 'Cause I do it. I do it because my favorites are so full of stuff that sometimes I'm just like, oh, this is cool. Add to cart. And then I never buy it. Sorry.
How do you handle changing out products to benefit your business? I mainly wanted to do this for women, but keep getting questions for men's items. I don't know if it would be good to change it up. What does she sell, or what do they sell?
What do you sell? Do you sell jewelry?
We've done a shop critique on you, but we've done so many I can't remember off the top of my head. It really just depends on the product, because if you're selling jewelry, I mean, there's really no such thing as a gendered jewelry. You have masculine and feminine, but
yeah. Follow your joy.
There you go.
Yeah, follow your joy. If it's something you don't want to make, it doesn't matter if people are requesting it. You don't got to make anything that you don't want to make. Especially if your joy is more important to you than the money, which
it's a balance.
Exactly. But if it's a notable amount of people and you feel like it fits your niche and you want to dabble in it, try 1 or 2 items. You don't have to go all out. You could just experiment with a couple men's items.
If it was clothing, it might be a little different, obviously, because you have different cuts of clothing. But even then, you don't technically have to gender. You can do body shape style.
Yeah. That's what we did with Alpha Adapt when we did our clothing. We did it by body style. We eliminated all gendered language because literally all of the unisex shirts were just labeled as men's, and if that's the case, I only wear men's clothing, and that's silly.
Yeah, it's a little silly.
There was a question above that.
Oh. I'd like to add blankets for my holiday season. Their shop is Handmade. Do you think it would be weird to add POD blankets to your Handmade shop? As long as they're thematically fitting, it doesn't really matter. That's
fine. Make sure that they fit the overall, your overall niche. And maybe, if you've got a specific theme to your handmade items, that would be fine. Just, I would put something in your listings that say that, these, we actually entrust this specific item to a trusted manufacturer, but it's our, artwork or our design that's on the products.
How do you substitute orders with POD when they don't really respond? A year or so ago, I had an order for an out of stock item. The only thing I could do was order something else and refund.
If they've placed an order and they aren't responding to you, just refund. Because if they receive something that they didn't order and they didn't get the thing that they paid for, they're going to leave a bad review and they're going to be upset, and that can get you in trouble. It would be better to just try to reach out a couple times. If they don't respond, then go ahead and just cancel their order and refund them. And then, if they get like a cancellation notice or a refund pops up, that's when they'll probably message you and then see all of your messages, and then they'll feel really silly. And if they still want to shop from you, then they'll place a new order.
Please visit a Latvian pastry shop. I have no idea if they have good pastries, but they must. What is that comment? I have no idea if they're good, but I'm sure they've got pastry shops. You should at least try it. She's not going to have time to try anything.
I am not going
to. We're getting home from a music festival on Monday. She gets on a plane Tuesday afternoon, so she gets a day to recover from a 4-day long rave festival. And then she's hopping on a plane. She's getting there a day after everybody else, so no time to dress rehearse. She's going straight to the studio with her baggage. She'll have just enough time to go back to the hotel, get situated, put her makeup on before she's got to come back in. And then the next day, she's got to do the actual event, which doesn't start until the evening, but she's
7 p.m. their time.
She's going to be so lagged and out of it and probably sick that she's going to want to sleep the whole time. And then they're doing a dinner at midnight, and she gets on a plane again at like 7:45 in the morning. So most of the time, she's going to be asleep. They said, take your vitamin C. She doesn't like it, but I'm going to be forcing hydration and vitamin supplements down her throat the whole week before the festival and during.
I'll be okay. I'll survive. And my mom's a night shift nurse, so she's used to the crazy hours.
Yes.
But
Liquid IV all the way. I live on that stuff.
I do apologize for all of the people who are in Latvia who have said, oh, can you please meet with me? I can't.
She literally will not show up in festival gear. It's going to be all stinky and ruined by the time she gets to leave.
Filthy. We're going to be living in a tent for 4 days.
Yeah, I go hard, bro. Question related to your book. How did you get ideas for the cover design? Lots and lots of Google image research.
It's part, I designed the cover, and there's nobody who knows my book better than me. The most important part of that book, in my opinion, and the thing that I love the most about my book is, have you read my book? I feel like if you haven't read my book, then if you read my book, you'll know what the cover means. But the bottle cap, no spoilers, is a very important object in the book, and Dax is my favorite character. So I've got the picture of the bottle cap on the back of my phone with Dax on it. It's a curious item. When you see a book in the science fiction section with a clearly cyberpunky neon noir theme about it, with a bottle cap, and that bottle cap has a scary looking wolf, it makes you say, what is this? And that's exactly what I wanted from my cover. I wanted something that was completely unlike anything that anyone else had. And because I wasn't able to hire somebody to do it, I wasn't able to find someone who was able to capture what I wanted, I decided to just spend hours and hours and hours creating it myself. So that's where my book cover came from. By the way, I'm a science fiction author. If you guys want to read the channel, you can order it everywhere that books are sold. And you should do that. That way you can motivate me and yell at me to keep writing book 2, because I'm like, I want to do that over my holiday break. That's my plan, is to finish book 2.
Mayla said Bomb Pop Liquid IV is great. I know. I have 2 packs upstairs.
That's
Two
his
of the
favorite.
big bags of them. It's my favorite.
They're
That one's good.
salty, though.
That one's good. You get used to that. That's good. The pina colada's good. Strawberry's good. Pear is okay. I have a small and passionate niche. I have reached a market cap and would like to find a way to scale my business, but there isn't an umbrella niche to add to it. Any suggestions for growth? If you think you've truly reached a peak of where your business can be on Etsy, then it's probably time to start your own website. And move on to actually like expanding into the public market and away from the Etsy market.
Are you sure that there's nothing else that branches from your niche that you could... Carla, this might be a moment where like there might be something that's just, it's almost like an eye floater where the second you look at it, it disappears. You might want to post in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community and share what your product is and just see if there's anyone who can like, you know, help reel in some of those ideas that might just be right outside of your periph. You know what I mean? But like Mark said, if you've truly tapped all your resources and you've hit your glass ceiling, then it might be time to, like he said, start expanding out into other marketplaces or your own website. That might be the time to really start hitting things like Google ads and Google optimization and, you know, maybe putting some money behind some social media advertising.
You recommend... Do you recommend waiting to see how a product does before you order samples for POD?
Opposite.
They don't mean for themselves. Like if there's a new product that comes into the POD world, wait to see if other people are selling it before ordering samples to make it for their shop.
Well,
I'm assuming is what you guys are saying.
Yeah, if you're listing it in your shop, you should always order a sample because you got to know what it's looking like. But waiting to see like how other sellers sell it, it's going to completely depend. I could say like these tumblers sell really, really well in lots of other shops because they do. We haven't really sold very many of these tumblers.
If you're pinching pennies, yeah, do that. That's probably best case scenario. If it's a new type of product, you can always miss out on a trend that's going to be there for a couple of minutes and then dies. And then you have to wait the 3 weeks for you to get your sample, and then you get the products listed, and then you're 3 months behind a trend. So there's positives and negatives to both. Obviously, if you don't want to spend money on something, you can usually guess if something's going to work. Like they put out some stupid stuff sometimes, but then like when they get these coffee cups, that's pretty cool. A couple of the POD people popped off with those, right? So do you think you'll open a Go Imagine shop?
Eventually I'll have to do digital though, because I am POD, so I can't sell. And I'm not, as much as you guys have asked me to, I cannot go back to making the keys. I loved the keys. I fell out of love with the keys, and the whole following your joy thing, that has led me to walk away from a 6-figure business in order to pursue things that I enjoy more. I have a lot of people who say like, why would you do that? You were making so much money.
Money is not everything, believe it or not. Coming from 2 people who do YouTube, run a course, work for E-Rank, work for a bunch of other people. Money's not everything, I promise.
I will never do anything for money that I don't absolutely love doing. The same reason why I get emails all the time where people say like, I will pay you for a shop critique.
Nope.
I don't like doing that. Maybe someday I will. Maybe someday I'll find, you know, the desire to do it. But I'm not going to do anything that I don't absolutely want to do because my heart is in it. Because if I try to do something that my heart's not in, I'm not going to enjoy it.
Yes.
So, but Go Imagine, I would love, because we have all these official, you know, licensing agreements. I'm not a bad artist, and I want to do coloring pages of book characters, printable coloring pages of different book characters. So
what if the spam includes pineapple? I'm one of those weirdos who doesn't think pineapple goes good with anything other than desserts, unless it's grilled pineapple that goes with grilled meat. Pineapple does not belong on pizza, fight me. What's your current favorite read? Random thing. I'm telling my social media followers to search my shop name on Etsy, so bookish products are showing up next to unlicensed arcane Netflix stuff. What's your favorite read right now?
Right now I'm finally reading Kingdom of Ash. It's taken me 6 months to get through Throne of Glass after devouring ACOTAR and Crescent City. Obviously, Court of Thorns and Roses series is my all-time favorite. I'm going back through the audiobooks again, or the graphic audios. Court of Silver Flames is my favorite book of all time. Nesta's Journey is amazing. Mark has read all of them with me. He likes Crescent City a lot. You like ACOTAR more though, right? The series.
In Crescent City, yes, I like ACOTAR more. Yep.
I'm also
they're both good. Don't get me wrong. They're both good. And I think all of you who are saying that the last Crescent City book isn't as good aren't good readers, because that was a great book.
I didn't think it was as good. I'm also, after I finish Kingdom of Ash, I'm going to finish Born of Blood and Ash, which is Jennifer Armentrout's latest. I don't really like the Shadow and the Ember, Flesh and Fire spin-off series as much, but I do read from Blood and Ash, so I've got to keep up with those. And then after that, our together read is going to be Fourth Wing, which, believe it or not, I still haven't read yet because I've been holding out for him to read it with me. So, but Iron Flame got pushed back to January, so we're going to go ahead and read Fourth Wing and or not Iron, no, Onyx Storm. Sorry, Onyx Storm got pushed back to January, so we're going to read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame for our fall read.
I love it. Pineapple, but I'm Italian, so it does not belong on pizza. Tomato and pineapple are contrasting acids. You don't put contrasting acids on the same food. Lemon and lime go together because they're complementary acids, but you wouldn't suddenly throw lemon and lime on a tomato, would you? No, it's gross, unless you blend it up with something that opposes the tomato acid. Anyway, I'm not
Mr. Food Science here. Will there be a more detailed video on niche products for Halloween? You should already have those listed. We're already on to Christmas.
We don't really like do sell this specific thing here.
Yeah, I've got a Halloween video that posted niches. That was like months ago. Go watch that one, but you should technically have those listed already. Remember that whole 60 to 90 day window for the algorithm? That's already started for Halloween. You need to make sure that stuff's listed now and get your Christmas stuff listed.
And someone else had basically asked, is it too late to make Halloween products? It's not too late, but you should definitely get them as soon as possible because it's getting close to too late.
Yeah, September is when those things buy.
People don't buy holiday things during the holiday.
No, most Halloween items are purchased in September, not October. And if you need 60 to 90 days of assessment period for Etsy, then you're already kind of listing during that period. So, yeah.
In my main shop, I currently only have one digital download. I want to list my crochet stockings and some crocheted bags, but my office isn't done yet. Is it a good idea to put them in a mock-up? You could do that if you don't have time to actually take photos of your full products, if you're going to delete the backgrounds.
If you're subtracting the background, making like a nice mock-up.
If it's going to take too much work and too much effort to do the office itself up, stick it in a mock-up.
Sure.
That should be fine.
Yeah.
Changing photos. Somebody else had asked, it's a question we won't get to. They had a product that is a bunch of products selling really well, but the photos are terrible and they want to replace the photos and they're worried it'll affect the listings. As of right now, photos themselves do not directly affect your SEO, so you should be okay.
Yeah. Oh, Science and Snark, I emailed you back this morning while we were setting up for the Friday Bean. I'm running a little late on emails for those who are still waiting, students. If you guys are waiting for me to respond to you, if it's an emergency, I've responded. But for questions that have seemed to not been time sensitive, we're working on the boot camp for you guys. So,
how old should a listing be before you start testing different titles, SEO, etc.? Just heard you talking about Etsy taking 60 to 90 days to figure out listings.
Yeah, 60 to 90. I like that 4-month period where your listing basically will, renew and then you'll pay the 20 cents again if it doesn't sell. If it hasn't sold in that 4-month period and you have it set to automatically, expire and then you have to manually renew it, that to me says that, okay, if during that time frame I've gotten no views on that item, there's probably something wrong with it. That's where I would start working on it.
I was looking if there were any emergency questions because we're pretty much to the end here.
There was somebody that said something about HAA students, and that I was.
Oh yeah. What percentage of HAA students who follow through are successful? Impossible to just let me real quick.
Yeah.
Impossible to track metric So here's the weird thing about this. So full transparency, the likelihood of significant success is probably very low, but not because of the content. I want to be very clear on that. If you look in the statistics of how many people actually buy something and follow through, the percentage is already like 10%, 15%. Very few people who buy things on the internet as virtual content actually follow through with that content. Ours is probably a little bit higher because we're a lot more like...
There's a lot of accountability.
Yeah, there's a lot of accountability taking place. There's personal finance taking place. So there's no real way for me to tell what percentage of people even follow through. Not to mention a couple of other factors. Success is kind of a mindset thing. If you want to say like, let's say making enough money to support themselves and not have to work a secondary job. I still can't answer that because hopefully if you're to that point, I'm not hearing from you anymore. You know what I mean?
Like, well, yeah, our most successful ones we don't hear from anymore.
Right. Most of the time they'll often disappear. We'll look into them and be like, oh yeah, they're doing pretty well. It's hard to tell. And then the most like crazy out there ones are usually the loudest. So those are the ones you hear us talking about, people like Amber Marie and a few other people we've talked about over the years. But I wish I could answer that question more. I don't even really track where they're at through the course, so I don't try to keep track of that stuff. If you guys get great success, we love the testimonials. We'll use them in our marketing and everything else, and usually shout you out. You know, here we talk about our successful people every once in a while.
Here's the thing: you go to college to be a brain surgeon. Just because you paid the tuition, it doesn't mean you're a brain surgeon.
It's a math problem that I only have the first out of 500 numbers for.
You have to put in the work. You have to design a product that's in demand. You have to be a good business owner. Even if you are a good business owner, you know, we've had people who have gone through HAA who realize that all the cards have aligned, like Mabel the Woodle. She had a POD business, did literally everything right. And I was like, you know, Nicole, I don't know what to tell you, girl. Like, your branding is beautiful. Your products are awesome. Your marketing is, yep, she's here. Your marketing is amazing. Like, I don't know why your products aren't selling, but clearly there's something missing. Then she incorporated in something different. She started doing denim vests that she is making and shipping, you know, to her customers, moved away from POD. Now she's seeing the sales come in. There are often factors that are completely outside of my control where you can do everything right, but the product itself isn't hitting the target. And that's where it boils down to you and your ability to innovate, to understand your target customers. I assist you with that. We put all of that in your head right away. We start with all of that in Handmade Alpha Academy, but you've got to be the one to actually innovate and, you know, like we talk about in HAA, plan, adapt, evolve, plan for change, because change is always going to happen. Adapt to change quickly, because if not, you're going to be left behind. And eventually you will evolve with those changes and become a better version of yourself and a better business owner. But guys,
there's a couple more HAA questions.
Oh,
so don't jump the gun on me.
Sorry.
You ain't got nowhere to be.
It's not open.
When does HAA open again?
December 1st.
December 1st. And it will be open until just math. The 10th, realistically, it's like the 11th at 2 in the morning. But have you guys talked about redoing the content from HA to be more applicable to non-Etsy sellers? Yes, we have. What are the estimated dates for that? As of right now, we're aiming for next June.
2025.
June of 2025. And just to be clear, for those of you who are on the fence, we are not getting rid of the Etsy content. No. That is not what's happening. Most of it is because the majority of the content in the course isn't like, this is how you do this on Etsy. That's not the kind of...
It's human psychology.
It's human psychology focused. There are a few things that are like, this is how you do this on Etsy. Those are probably just going to get pushed into a sub module or into a bonus or something like that. And the language is getting changed to be more friendly to people who don't just sell on Etsy, because a lot of the content can be used anywhere. And we know that because we've had people open up physical brick and mortar stores. We have someone selling government contracts using what he learned. That there's all manner of different things that you can use this content for. We just, as of right now, have it languaged for Etsy because that was, you know, what we like. But we see where Etsy's at. We have no idea where Etsy's going to go. And we want to make sure that the platform stays friendly. That way, if Etsy does take that inevitable bad turn, you guys have somewhere to go without having to pay additional money for additional content. It can be themed in a way where you can understand without having to do a lot of work and take it to wherever else you plan. How much will HAA be, and do you offer payment plans? We do offer payment plans. It's either $997 one time, or it's 6 payments of $199.
And you get the boot camp that we've been talking about. You get that
Yep.
every year for free, included with
Yes.
your HAA membership. You also get a year of eRank Pro. You get lifetime support. You're able to email me at any time. Obviously, like today, I let everybody know that I'm slow with answering emails because we're getting ready for the boot camp, but I'm usually pretty speedy. And you get access to group experts like Christina Nicole. You get her product photography essentials workshop for free as well. You get a bunch of stuff. We've got a bunch of other coaches who are starting to contribute some stuff as well. John from Go Imagine is now in the community. So you get all kinds of stuff, but we'll talk more about it in December, or close to in
Yes.
November.
And also, because you didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
If you pay the payment plan off prior to April, did we do April last time, or was it March? Usually before the first, the payment date of the 4th month, I take off the final plan and make it exactly, or the final payment, make it exactly the same as the one-time payment. It's a convenience fee for paying me extra. But anyway, that's where we're at.
So, guys, real quick before we finish up, I do want to remind you that we will not stream again until the price of our Alpha Holiday Bootcamp. This is not Handmade. Yeah, it will be going up on the day that we stream next. So you've got to keep track of this on your own. And if you're afraid that you're going to forget to get in on our priority pricing day, you can enter your email here and I'll just send you an email on September 5th. The Alpha Holiday Bootcamp, HAA students, you guys get this for free, but this is a bootcamp that's going to help you to prepare your Etsy shop. It's going to help you with some marketing tips. It's a 7-day event. You will have access to replays. Everything's pre-recorded other than there's a final day live stream with Mark and I. On September 5th, we will be sending out an email for our early bird price. You can get into the program for $65. That price is insane for the amount of content you're going to be getting from our guest coaches and myself. Then our price is going to go up to our general enrollment price September 6th and 7th. September 6th is our next Friday bean. So by the time we stream again, it'll already be up to $100. You'll have 2 days to get in at that price if you miss out on the early bird. And then on September 8th, this is Sunday, that price goes up by $20, making it $120 total, because those additional $20 increments, we donate all of those to St. Jude. So it's kind of like a penalty for waiting for the last minute, but we donate all that money. And then Mark and I also match those donations to St. Jude as well. This year, we've got guided marketing calendar, just like you guys had last year. You guys still get all the marketing templates. You still get the private Facebook group for bootcamp attendees. But I'm going to be covering advanced neuromarketing strategies this year. This is the first time I've ever presented neuromarketing strategies. They're very complex, but I'm breaking them down in a way that's easy and fun. Then you're going to be learning from Christina Nicole. She's going to be teaching you some holiday photography basics. Mandy from Simply POD with Mandy, she's going to be talking about if you hate social media, how to market for the holidays by utilizing micro influencers and local media. So I'm so excited to watch this one. I didn't know that this was possible. So I'm going to be learning from her. Then Dave, if you guys watch Add to Cart, Dave is a guru when it comes to Etsy ads. So he's going to be teaching a profitable Etsy ad strategy for the holiday season. Hannah Gardner, quickly becoming one of my bestie friendies over on the Marco Polo app. We talk all the time. Hannah is going to be teaching you how to take your kind of, so-so listings and making them amazing, and then how to basically relaunch those suckers at the algorithm. I've already watched hers. She submitted it a while ago, and it's fantastic. I'm so excited because I'm going to be working and trying to get some of these strategies in my own shop as well. Then we have Angel from Passive Income Angel. She's going to be teaching a full TikTok marketing strategy, which again, something else that I really need because I suck at TikTok. So I'm excited to watch hers. And then you also get the bonus that we have done the last 2 years, which is how to publish holiday press releases. If you've ever wondered how to get those little as seen in ABC, NBC, Fox News, Yahoo Finance, all those logos that Etsy sellers put on their banners. I'll be teaching you how to do that. And Michelle Badger, my virtual assistant, will be also offering her $35 press release writing services to those who attend the boot camp. So it's super affordable. Then day 7, we'll have a live stream with Mark and I where we will go over everything. You'll have access to the program until January of 2025. Handmade Alpha Academy students, you guys will retain access forever.
Yes, it will get transitioned usually in like the first or second week of January. It takes me a couple of days to get everything built and put back up. But yeah. We got another video to record, so you ready to get to it?
I am. So definitely check that out if it sounds interesting to you. It's going to be very different than last year's because, last year I made a lot of the content. This year with me flying to Latvia literally right afterwards. I can't do everything myself, so I had to rely on guest speakers this year, but I found the best of the best for you guys to ensure that the content that's being produced is coming from amazing presenters who are going to give you guys really valuable information. So though I'm only speaking one day, aside from the Q&A at the end, I hope that you guys love the speakers that we've chosen and that they help you attend. Thank you guys. We appreciate you, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm hungry.
I am all